Hey everyone, this is Acid Roots. I have got my list of things. I've got a review for you, and this is the Wu-Tang Clan. So I've been doing some 90s albums, and I figured, well, this is an excellent one to showcase. And in a lot of ways, it's better than expected, but it's not quite, to me, it's not perfect, but this is what I thought about it. So, 93 came out. I don't really know as much, I don't know their story as well as I know, like, Snoop's or anything, but I do know that they came out somewhere in 93, and I think on the Protect Your Neck song, I think all 9 members are on it. So, there were 9 Wu-Tang members, and if you don't know about Wu-Tang, they are basically East Coast lyricists with the ability to give you street visions and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to think of how to personalize it for you. If Snoop Dogg was kind of a ground level dude on Doggy Style, and you just got the idea that he just drank and smoked all day. Well, these guys kind of are like, they've got this East Coast style to them, but they're different. This is kind of what created the East and the West Coast debacle that was in the 90s, was just because their styles were different. And I mean, that's is different cultures. So you get these guys who happen to have a different set of productions, and it's not G-Funk, which was what I was used to. So the production is going to be different, but overall you're going to get a little bit more wordplay than you would with some of these other cats. So basically it's just not talking to you like Snoop Dogg's way of just, kind of getting, sinking in your head, just his intoxicatingness. You get more of a style that these guys are a little bit more quicker pace. Snoop's lazier, these guys are a little bit quicker paced, and there's 9 of them. So 3 of the ones that I know are Method Man, Ghostface Killah, and Raekwon, and Old Dirty Bastard. Those are some of the ones I know, but there's also Inspector Deck, You God, Master Killa, and then the RZA and Jizza. So yeah, I think that's 9. Maybe not. Maybe. But then there's also Capadonna, who kind of is in the. So I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. So if you like each and every one of these people, they've all dropped albums, so you can further get into that style. And the thing is it kind of was another placeholder that took off and gave you some styles. This is considered one of their best ones, but I do feel that they've probably dropped better releases. There's enough. Wu-Tang Clan themselves have dropped like 5 or 6 albums, and you can check out those. But so yeah, it's a different type of sound, and I can't really think of people outside of the clan who make similar music. I guess Nas would be one of them, and the Locks, some of those guys. But there were 4 radio songs. The first one was Protect Your Neck, and this is one of the best songs on the album. It really kind of is grainy, and I like that. It's real grainy. It's supposed to be. It's just, it feels like the room is filled with fog. Like you've got a smoke machine in your fog machine in your room. The next one is Method Man, and this is another kind of not shiny beat. and I like it. So they're 2 for 2. The third one is probably one of the songs you heard if you listen to rap, and this is Cream. People have freestyled to this quite a bit. It's a great song. I just wish that there, more people would have been on it. I mean, the problem with it is they kind of take the the way that they do the album. Like, you don't get every single rapper at least 4 or 5 times per the 11 songs that are here. You'd think if there's 9 or 10 members, you should hear each member on at least 5 songs, but you don't. So one person that a lot of people like is Old Dirty Bastard, but the problem with it is I don't like the songs that he's on. So that's been a problem, with Old Dirty Bastard, is just you can like him, but you just don't like the things that he does. So even if he is a favorite, just the problem with it is he's always on something that I don't like. And so it kind of, you can't X out one thing because of another. Just because he's likable does not mean the song isn't bad. But, Method Man is kind of a little bit quiet too. And, so you just have to you're going to have to explore more if you want to hear them. But they did get the job done. The fourth radio song was Can It All Be So Simple? Can It Be All So Simple? This one really sounds grimy, and it's worth it. So all 4 of these songs from the album are worth it, and there's actually a handful more songs that are also good. So can you smoke to this? Yes, you can. Besides those radio songs, Wu-Tang 7th Chamber, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, and Bring the Ruckus are also some more songs to smoke to. It just feels like you're laying back, you're somewhere like in a real kind of grainy situation. Production, it's different from a lot of sounds that you're going to hear. It's not like most albums that, you're going to hear like a Drumma Boy beat or something like that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's really kind of got a darker sound that I want to see clones of this, but just without some of it just needed to trim the fat on a couple of songs, like Shame on a Nigga and Clan in the Front just kind of screwed up, and Wu-Tang Ain't Nothing to F With or Fuck With was the same way. So these are 3 songs that kind of didn't work that well. That leads me to the unheard songs. So besides the radio songs, best beats are The Mystery of Chess Boxing, 7th Chamber, and Bring the Ruckus. All of these really work, but you just have to let it sink in. Like, don't think immediately that the beat's going to knock you off your socks. You have to listen to the song a little bit in order to like it, which I've done. These are excellent songs, and I'm, searching for more similar albums to this because I'd like to listen to them quite a bit. The only other song that is kind of one that I would consider an almost song, but I just can't get to liking it, is Tears. So, I mean, that would be 8 out of 11 songs, because one of them is just a kind of a redo of an earlier song, but 7 out of 11 is great, but I just wish it was 8 or 9. So when I compare this to others, I haven't really listened to Wu-Tang that much, but I will say that these members have done works, and one of the ones I own is Old Dirty Bastard, Nigga Please. So his second album, his album from 1999, is the one that I own. And, I've listened to it. There are some good records and everything, but it's just not very cohesive. So you're getting Old Dirty Bastard, of course, but, the problem with it is sometimes the music doesn't match his character, so that's a problem. But when we look at what came out in '93, I mean, this was probably one of the biggest records of the year as far as rap is concerned. And, Illmatic and Ready to Die came out the next year. And both of these are presumed, I mean, East Coast by this point had 3 classics. So all within the span of a year, you got Notorious B.I.G., Nas, Mobb Deep, that's another one, and Wu-Tang. So that, East Coast was getting presumably rather fit quickly. Well, the West Coast will always be more popular though, just because it's more relatable, and it's just, you can relax to it a little bit more. But even though the East Coast is probably just a tad more effective, mainly because Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg both didn't make clones of their albums. Dog Pound didn't get that big, and Tupac, well, he died. So, but I recommend this album, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, because I like 7 out of 11, I mean, the thing is, you got to keep in mind this is only 7 songs. If it was like 15 out of 19, I would give it like a 9.5 or even a 10. But, considering there's only 10 songs, you have to, and that's the reason why I don't like shorter albums, is because if you screw up that many times, it's hard to say, oh yeah, well, I like 5 out of 10 songs, here's a 10 out of 10. So it just doesn't really add up, but an 8.5 is what it is. Yeah, this album Social, surprisingly, it's not like a trending topic as far as like commercial rap goes, but it's always going to be something that once you really start bonding with people, that this is going to be something that's going to build friendships and strengthen friendships, more importantly. So this is something, it may not be what you introduce to someone to get started, but once you've known them, this is probably a good thing to, there's a number of cuts that just, you can sink in your seat to do whatever you want, and they're effective. So I'm going to give it a 9. Social, just because there's not an explosive radio song besides Cream, and not every beat on here is top notch. But can it be topped? Yes, but probably not. I mean, this is quite effective. But okay, I give this album an 8.5 and a 9 social.